All right, and everyone, welcome in to Wagers on Campus, your college football podcast where we talk about all of the games. And this week, we are talking week number 11. Appreciate you checking us out. Thank you so much. If you could give us a like or give us a follow or, share with your friends or whatever that might be, it's greatly appreciated. But every single week, myself and Xander, we talk the college football slate, and we try to cover as much college football as we can. So this week, we're going to talk about what happened in week 10. We're going to cover 6 big games in week 11. We're going to talk about 5 games that we feel are of note. And then we're going to talk about 8 games that the Sickos are looking at. And then, of course, the Mac Messiah rolls on with Xander. And we have a teaser, a pleaser, and a quad box parlay. So we're going to send you guys out of here with some early plays. But thanks for tuning in and checking us out. And Xander, how the hell are you?
Hello. Oh, I'm doing well, Mayor. Got a little tranny with me. If no one's watching, that's transfusion. Transfusion, pause. Because I might be reassigning my fade gender. Now maybe I'm the fade king after last week. You've passed your sickness off to me. With you had a great week, and after last night in the MACtion, I'm reeling, bud.
What is this, like the Blitz and How I Met Your Mother? Blitz.
Yeah. So maybe a little booze on the show will help me think a little clearer and see the board a little. I felt a little rushed last week, and it showed. And boy, did I battle some of those ads. And also, one was just a tale of your lock.
Yeah, well, the tail of my lock was a nice winner for you. Thank God. But you finish week 10, 6-9, pause, and 1, down 3.1 units. Your lock did not hit. Makes you 5-5 on the season with locks. Overall record, 95, 88, and 2. That's a winning record, and you're still up units on the year. Thoughts in week 10? Any specific things you wanted to recap?
Yeah, thoughts were, what an absolute grind. It was a brutal slate on just about every wrong side to start. Yeah, I mean, this is the second week in a row I've bet against my teams, and it's just something I'm not comfortable with doing anymore. I'm just not going to do it. Try and put your brain into it, and first half it actually looked okay. I'm talking about Penn State, Ohio State, and Ohio State just said, "Oh yeah, we have the 2 best wide receivers in college football. We'll just go ahead and throw it to them vertically."
Yeah.
And at one point before Penn State's final drive, they had 1 yard the entire second half before the final drive. So an absolute shit kicking. Let's see. Yeah, almost hit our over-to-over parlay on Friday. That would have been nice. All 3 games over, but Bill Belichick is a perverted cuck, and he completely tarnished his entire legacy. So Navy, oh yeah, my lock of the week. Tough. I mean, Navy, North Texas, I know it was under by about 20 points, but that game should have been over. Just a lot of weird bounces that resulted in no points. So luckily, we're back on track with our academy game. That was another best bet for me. That under hit pretty easily. I moved up Georgia Tech, NC State over to a best bet. That was an over 2.5 wager, and then Pitt team total over was pretty easy as well. So want to take one good note out of a bad week is that in my last 3 weeks, I believe I am 8-2 with my best bets.
Yeah, that's great, man. As far as myself, I went 8-5, up 3.5 units on the week, much needed. Makes me down only a little under 9 units on the year. Season record 45, 47-3. My lock hit, which was Utah -10 against Cincinnati. That one was pretty easy. When I look at my card and take a look at the picks,
Biggest card of the year.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, you had
realize
13. Yeah, you had 13 plays.
Yeah, I had some that I was fortunate to win, like Florida plus 7.5, or San Diego
San Diego
State
State.
minus 10, or even Mississippi State plus 4.5. Definitely could have been worse, but yeah, I mean, I'm thrilled with the 8-5 slate. So
To be fair,
hopefully,
San Diego State was trending towards a push, and like a breakout run got you to got you over. So
yeah,
that's not really like a fortunate win. That was just more of thanks for moving it from a push to a cash.
for sure.
The
So
Wazoo was a bad loss for you though. Oregon State is one of the worst teams in college football. Weren't doing anything, and then they just get one drive. I mean, that's all they needed in a 10-7 final, but they just got one drive, and that was it. But Washington State was covering 7-3. It would have been a hilarious cover if you nailed that one.
well, buckle in for the rematch in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, cool. Yeah, that was our recap. We're gonna, I'm gonna continue to try to keep building, and then Xander's gonna continue to try his, winning ways that he's been doing. But
I will say we got to be careful about fading Jeff Sims. They may have found something on the ground with him, and because that's why Iowa State made my card, even though they are still as beat up as they were the week before and had no business laying 8 points. That was a complete fade Jeff Sims play, and their offense didn't miss a beat. So that's something to keep an eye out. And then I thought a hilarious add this to the category of one of the worst bets of the season, right there with who was it? UCLA minus 16.5, losing by 21 to New Mexico. West Virginia, Houston under. I think West Virginia almost had 48 on their own. The under was 48.
Yep,
That was
didn't
an
see
ugly.
that. Didn't see that coming. They finally
Talk
found a
about
quarterback.
Yep, and Houston finally back to earth. Nice 7-1 start. They might finish 7-5.
Yeah, exactly. I saw there a pick 'em this week against UCF, which is hard to do. So
Yeah.
All right. Well, another quick recap from last week before we move onwards. Quad box parlay. So that got canceled, huh?
Yep. And it'll be canceled again this week. We're not going to bend the knee to greed in this country. So we're not going to build them if you're not going to place them for us. Very disgusted. I didn't even check if it would have hit on what we would have picked. Oh, I think we had Vandy money line, so no, as one of the boxes. But yeah, I mean, if I understand not everyone's a YouTube TV subscriber, but that's where the quad box is. You don't have Fubo. You can't get a quad box with Fubo or DirecTV or anything like that. So we are also protesting this quad box going forward.
Yeah. I had the Sling Day Pass and no quad box on there either. So I'm with you. We're protesting this quad box because this is ridiculous.
Bullshit.
Sorry, my wife is talking to me.
The producer's talking to you?
Yeah, the producer's talking to me, and then she just stormed out of the room, and we're live on air.
Tell her to edit this part out.
Yeah, exactly. Our pleaser, 3-1, huh?
Man, look at this thing. It was me, hand up. You know what's so funny? This would have only hit for me. I almost pulled the because I put it on FanDuel, and FanDuel has the alternate spreads like in 2 columns. So I actually almost clicked Louisiana minus 9.5. But that was like, because they were already 3-point dogs, that was like plus 400. So I knew it was the wrong side.
Oh,
And Louisiana actually covered 9.5. That's a 3-point dog. So that would have been a massive payout. So hand up, Major Applewhite. That magical run's over. They suck.
yeah. Is that why you went with that pick? Just because they were rolling?
I mean, ULL is just so banged up, and their offense is so one-dimensional. I thought maybe this is an opportunity to get some momentum going. But yeah, I think it's just one of those teams that sucks and just stays in games.
Yeah. Well, you were right about Oklahoma. They covered the 3 against
Ma-
Tennessee.
They certainly tried not to. They
Yes.
just kept, oh man, just kept giving up touchdowns to Tennessee, letting roll the dice on a onside kick.
No kidding. No kidding. But they survive in advance. And then my 2 picks, NC State outright against Georgia Tech. That one actually was pretty easy.
Yep.
And then Mississippi State -2 against Arkansas. That one was not easy, but they found a way at the end.
Yeah, one of the worst win differentials, win expected rates games there was Mississippi State, but it ended up being a loser. But we talked about this on the side. We got a round robin this because 3 legs of this would still pay like, I want to say I think it's like 29 to 1 or something like that.
That's crazy. I know
So,
we were so close. We were so close.
Yeah. So going forward, that will be a definite must.
And then our teaser, we go 5-1. So another losing week on the teaser, unfortunately, but damn, we were close.
Yep. Yeah. I like Texas Tech. Obviously, we were on different sides last week, but I still thought you were okay in that number. So seeing that being our losing leg was definitely a little shocking.
Yeah,
start putting some respect on the Red Raiders.
For sure. I watched a lot of that game, and Texas Tech just played real well. Like, they were clearly better than Kansas State.
Yep.
Very evident.
And then yeah, I mean, we might as well just talk about some of the recap. I think that's all of our ancillary picks, right?
Yeah.
That bottom one you had, Florida, Georgia, that would have been a push. But I mean, let's talk about this. The worst beat of that game was anyone that had the over, because Florida still had 2 minutes to go score and backdoor cover. Like, everyone's talking about Gunnar Stockton taking a knee at the 1. Like, that touchdown would have pushed the over.
That touchdown would have made it, pending the extra point, 31-20, and the over under closed at 51.5. So Florida would have needed to go down and at least get a field goal.
Okay. I saw 50.5 on some books, so I know you only got one eye down there, but yeah, so that was a little annoying. And then South Carolina was just so bad. Vanderbilt really bailed us out on a push. And we'll talk about it in the Mac Messiah, but once again, Mayor, I've done this 3 times now where I give out a play in the Mac on the podcast, and then by the time it hits the graphic, it's a loser because I changed sides. And I said Buffalo money line on Wednesday, and Bowling Green tricked me, saying their quarterback was healthy, didn't even start, didn't play till the second half, and he was ass in the second half, clearly still very hurt. And Bowling Green got completely demolished by Buffalo.
Well, that stinks when you're right and then you change to a loser.
Well, it's happened 3 times. I've only changed 3 times, and all 3 of them were changing the winning verbal pick to a losing written pick.
Yeah, that sucks, dude.
So I'm just stopping doing that.
Yep. Love the English.
Thanks. Transfusion is fucking me up.
Yeah. What kind of vodka is in that drink?
Little Kirkland signature vodka.
Nice.
Yep.
That makes me want to get a Bloody Mary for some reason.
Whoa.
Just hearing Kirkland's vodka.
Ooh.
All right. Well, we talked week 10, and we'll talk about our winners and losers from last week. So who do you have as your winners?
Yeah, I thought first Texas was a big winner last week. Offense has found some rhythm, looks like. And it was obviously every game for them now is must win. And they let Vanderbilt come back, and whoa, did they almost recover that final onside kick. But they got a big enough lead that they were able to survive that hailstorm. And so I think Texas is a big winner of last week. I think Oklahoma, another win or losing, you're out. And it was on the road at night at a very scary stadium, Neyland, Halloween in the black jerseys. So Oklahoma getting that win. And where they were on paper, they were outplayed, but they really were just beating themselves. I thought Oklahoma was the better team from all 4 quarters, not just the first half. They had 100 more penalty yards than Tennessee. And then Julian Sayin vaulting up to number 1 Heisman front runner. What he's doing is not just because he has the 2 best wide receivers. He is looks like a fucking veteran in the pocket, the way he moves, and he had a few runs escaping obviously the best D-line since Texas he's played this season. So those are my 3. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like where your head's at. It was a huge win for Texas, and you're right. Every win from here on out is a must win. But since they're bye week, they beat Kentucky on the road.
Overtime.
Got lucky in that game, right? And then beat Mississippi State on the road, who I think is a little bit better than Kentucky. Yep. And then of course the Vanderbilt win this week. So they might be building something. They have a huge game coming up against Georgia in 2 weeks or a week and a half. So that's obviously gonna tell us if they're making the playoff or potentially making the playoff or not, because Texas also still has to play Texas A&M to close their season. So we still got a lot to find out about Texas. Oklahoma, I agree with you. And can I just make a petition that anytime after Halloween, we don't need Halloween-themed fields or Halloween-themed jerseys. Guys, it's November 1st. Like, am I a boomer for that take? Like, no. Like, I don't want my NFL teams having Christmas-themed stuff the day after Christmas. It's like, no, it's all about the buildup. It's not about the day after. That's bullshit.
I will say I'm against you on that one because whenever Halloween was on the weekend in college, that was a big deal. So I just think the touching, the connecting part, I let it slide.
I hear you about in college it being a big deal. I guess it is.
Well, that's
college.
That's what we're talking about.
I guess it is college football, right? I don't know, bro. And then Julian saying, look, don't take this as a slight because it's meant to be as a compliment. But I figured out who Julian saying is and who his NFL comp is. And it's Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy gets shit on by lots of people for no reason other than putting the ball in the perfect spot, making great decisions, being accurate, looking good in the pocket, using his legs when he needs to. Sayin is doing a great job. So hats off to him.
We'll say ever since someone on a podcast, I don't know who it was, said he might be Kyle McCord 2.0, he has completely blown those expectations out of the water.
Yeah, man. It's just crazy how well Ohio State executes. I mean, they really just execute these high degree of difficulty passes down the field, and Sayin puts the ball in a spot where his receivers can make a play, and the Ohio State receivers just seemingly come down with it every time, like they're Devontae Adams running like a slot fade or something. Like they just make it look so easy.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously the people will look at that game like it was a test in the first half, but you can't give an instant red zone possession as a running back. There was a fumble there that really made that score closer than what was actually being played on the field, because outside of that one drive, they couldn't get it past the 50 for the entire game. So I was pleased for what I saw as someone holding a national championship ticket, 6-1.
Yeah, no kidding. You're in a great spot. And how about your losers? You got Hugh Freeze leading us off.
See ya. Another big boy gone. Yeah, you can't score 3 points against Kentucky at home. You just can't. And losing 10-3, that is the straw that breaks the camel's back. See you later. Yeah, so DJ Durkin takes over. We'll see we shall see. They've got a lot of really good talent. If they keep it there, find the right guy, Auburn could be a quarterback away from being dangerous next season. And then ACC, obviously, college football playoff poll. We'll talk about it here. ACC completely left out. And then also on the field took a couple brutal losses for their so-called horses this season. Miami just losing in overtime, looked bad the whole game. Georgia Tech getting beat from start to finish. Although we were on that side there, saw that one kind of coming. Virginia getting taken to the wire by Cal. And then obviously Clemson losing again. It is they might miss a bowl the way it's going now.
Yeah.
Like, what were those odds? Clemson not to make a bowl, like non-suspension.
Plus 5,000.
Yeah. Yeah. So ACC, big loser. And then AP poll. Winner to us, losers for them. See ya. You are irrelevant. Nothing you do matters for the rest of the season. Never want to see another AP poll tweet again. College football playoff poll is out. Good riddance.
Yeah, you're a big AP poll guy. We know that from the beginning of the season. What'd you think of Notre Dame being in the college football playoff?
And we'll talk about that in a little bit. I got something for you.
Okay, sounds good. As far as the ACC goes, hell, maybe Louisville or Pitt will be representing the conference in the college football playoff.
Yeah, I mean, the pathway is definitely there for Pitt, Louisville as well, as long as Miami keeps winning. But yeah, interesting to see. I mean, the streak of coaches getting fired is the craziest clip we've ever seen at this point.
For sure. Yeah.
That just keeps getting crazier every week.
I mean, at this point, we got Freeze, Napier, James Franklin,
Sam Pittman, Brian Kelly.
Oh, shit. Yeah, Brian Kelly. My God.
Yeah. So a lot of SEC jobs open, and James Franklin. Probably Luke Fickell at the end of the year. And then obviously UCLA, Virginia Tech, Colorado State. Boy, a lot of open jobs, folks.
For sure.
And then if coaches leave, you got to backfill those jobs. But in a good news for all my Mac heads out there, shout out Mark Carney, interim tag removed this week. So now the head coach of Kent State. Shout out to him.
Nice. That's awesome. All right. College football playoff. Is that right?
Yep.
Let's pull it up. Looks like you have a bracket projection.
I do. I want to see your instant reaction, but let's talk. I mean, we don't really have to dive into it that much. We all understand, and everyone listening understands. This is a dog and pony show for the first one. There's so many games at the top that are yet to be played. Your Texas, Georgia, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama, Notre Dame, Pitt, Georgia Tech, Georgia Tech, Pitt. Obviously, Ohio State, Michigan, Indiana, no one, but Iowa, Oregon. So many of these games are yet to be played. The biggest winners in my mind are Ole Miss and Texas A&M, with how far they've made it and what they have left on their schedule.
Sure.
There's Ole Miss has Citadel this week, followed by Florida and the Egg Bowl.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good.
And then Texas A&M has Texas, and then they have one of those cupcake, and South Carolina. Oh, and Missouri this week, of course.
Yeah, that could be weird. All right. Do you have this bracket?
Yeah, let me pull it up for you here.
All right.
Any initial thoughts you wanted to have while I pulled this up?
You know, those top, I think in college football right now, you have two teams, and they're both in the Big Ten, that have clearly separated themselves as the two best teams in college football up to this point in the season, in Ohio State and Indiana. When we start talking about every other team, starting with the 3 seed, which currently would be, in your bracket, Texas A&M, like it's anyone's game Truly. I mean, Georgia, for example, who I see is not even in your bracket. My God, did they look like shit against Florida? Like,
Yeah.
And they're like 5th in the country right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's kind of where my head's at. Like Ohio State and Indiana, though, that to me clearly looks like the 2 best teams in college football. And then there's a tier below between those 2 teams. But all right, let's take a look at your bracket. You got Ohio State at 1. I agree. Indiana at 2. Yep. A&M at 3. Can't argue that. And then BYU at 4.
And this is what I feel should be the bracket today. This isn't what I'm predicting the bracket will be.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Texas Tech, they've had a great year. They deserve to be in playing Memphis. I understand that 5 versus 12 matchup. And then you got Alabama at 6 against Oregon at 11. I mean, you're being pretty generous with Oregon. I will say that because so far their best win of the year is against Northwestern.
That's fair. That's very fair. That's why they're the 11, the last team in. So it's kind of between a few other teams. Obviously, that G5 getting the automatic bid there. But yeah, I mean, that's the one eye test team that I would leave in there.
And Oregon is going to get tested as we move forward because they have Iowa this week and then they play Washington. I believe that game
And
is,
USC.
And USC. So they got some games coming up.
For sure.
And you got Ole Miss at 7, no complaints there. Virginia at 10. I mean, yeah, so far it's kind of what the evidence bears out. And then you got Georgia Tech taking on Texas at number 9. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good bracket. I don't think I would put anyone else in other than at this point in time, I might kick out Oregon or Virginia or Georgia Tech and put Georgia in at this moment in time. That's probably
okay.
I'd probably have Georgia in here right now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair. The 4 undefeated teams in the Power 4 should be the top 4 teams as of today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's BYU's done their share of winning road games, and yeah, I think this is a fair bracket for what should be laid out. I guess we should talk about what was laid out, and I am steaming about it.
Ooh.
Yeah. You know what that is, Alex?
Uh-huh.
What is it?
Notrew Dame.
It's the Notre Dame fallacy, Alex. They were ranked number 10. They're the highest ranked 2-loss team in this playoff bracket, and they've beaten USC. They've beaten absolutely nobody. And I sit and I see these. I don't watch these talking heads. It's all they do. They talk. They don't bring any substance. I look at the field. That's where I look for my substance. Last week they struggled with a 1-8 Boston College. He had a 94-yard run from Jeremiah Love. He finished with 138 yards. 94 were on one play. He had over 19 rushes. What are we doing? Guy's taking a Heisman pose in the end zone. All right, this isn't an individual bash. This is a factual bias here. You are saying right now, Notre Dame, you're putting the standard now that is ahead of every single ACC team. They have the same record as Miami. Who played head-to-head this season and lost? Miami beat Notre Dame. So all the ACC is behind Notre Dame because they lost to Miami? That makes sense. Texas and Oklahoma, 2 lost teams, SEC. Both have better wins than USC under their belt. USC is currently the best win that Notre Dame has. You can maybe say NC State, but that's a stretch. That was a huge win for Notre Dame, for NC State doing their dirty work, beating Georgia Tech this past week. But when it comes to play on the field, and you're going to argue, oh, it's the eye test. No shit. The best 2 teams that they played, they lost to. And one was at home, giving up 41 points. And now they've had a cupcake schedule all the way till now. No shit, they're going to look better. And it's a damn shame that the committee is setting them ahead, that luckily the teams behind them, or the SEC bias that we clamor about, that should mean that Texas and Oklahoma can jump them. But there's not much jumping when teams win in the college football playoff. We've seen that for the last decade. It's really only happened a handful of times. Think of Florida State getting jumped. Think of when Ohio State won 59-0. I think those are the only two major times when I could think of teams jumping. But this Notre Dame situation, it's disgusting. And I don't want any part of Notre Dame in the playoff now. I had them in my original bracket preseason. I thought they'd get in 10-2. What's happening now and what's actually played out makes me sick. That's my Notre Dame fallacy.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with pretty much everything you said, honestly. Like, it is a fallacy. I remember listening to the Cover 3 podcast after Notre Dame lost to Texas A&M to go 0-2, and they were asking, do you think they make the playoff if they run the table from here? And the consensus was yes, they will get in. But why? But why? Why? Because USC is their best win. Boise State isn't as good as we thought they'd be. NC State, come on. Arkansas is dog shit in the SEC. Boston College is horrible in the ACC. They do have an upcoming game with Pitt. We just have to hope that Pitt can snipe them and take them down.
I think they will, and I think that'll crush everything. But what if it doesn't? And then Pitt wins out. Besides that, they're a 9-3 team. Yeah. And that means that Pitt would be Georgia Tech. So kiss their season goodbye. Yeah, it's the cannibalism of the ACC, and somehow the team with no conference benefits the most. So that's I think that's what rubs everyone the wrong way.
Yeah. We'd be having a different conversation had they won against Miami or had they beat
big
A&M.
time. Oh, big time. Those are statement wins. Like, now we're talking a one-loss team, and we can wash one of those wins off, but we're not. What happened was they lost both.
Do you think if one of the teams behind them currently, like a Texas or an Oklahoma or a Vanderbilt, plays really well and wins games and continues to win games, could you see them leaving out Notre Dame in that scenario still with only 2 losses?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because this is what could shape up to happen. We have Ole Miss 1 loss. Texas wins out. That's Texas 2 losses. Texas A&M 1 loss. Oklahoma wins out. Oklahoma 2 losses. Alabama 2 losses. And in that scenario as well, Georgia would have 2 losses. So all those teams, 2 loss, same as Notre Dame. You're going to tell me it comes down to Bama, Notre Dame? They're going to leave out Bama again? I don't think so. So we might be talking now a crazier conversation, a 5-bid SEC team, and that might fire me up even more. But we won't get there yet.
Okay. Like you said, it's the dog and pony show right now. So
yeah. I think we can agree the top 3 are pretty. I think Texas A&M has earned 3rd place, and we don't need to. If people want to talk about Indiana should be 1, and everything holds pat. They're going to play in the Big Ten championship. It'll work out. Everyone, calm down.
100%.
Let me ask you this though, Alex. If that happens, if Ohio State, Indiana both win out and they play undefeated in the Big Ten championship, do you think the loser should be no further down than 3? So they're on different sides of the bracket to potentially only see each other in the national championship?
Yes, I do. Frankly.
Yeah, I agree. But 4 weeks to go. Should we talk about current ball?
Yes, let's get in to the slate.
Pretty weird slate, but a lot of good games, in my opinion.
Yeah. There is. And we're going to kick off with the big games. And we're going to start with a huge Big 12 showdown between BYU and Texas Tech, where we currently have Texas Tech at home, and they are a 10.5-point favorite. And the over-under in this game is 52.5. And this is an early kick, 11 a.m. Central on, as you X'd out, ABC. How we going to watch? But this is the game.
Grab your bunny ears. Got to remember the antenna still works.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a awesome game. It's bullshit. It's at 11. This should be a night game in Lubbock. That would be sick. But I'm excited for this game. I already have a bet on this game. I think we've got a bit of fool's gold here, Alex. A bit of fool's gold if you haven't seen. I think BYU has been a great story. You know, the Bachmeier clan. You got Tiger, you got Bear, you got Lion, you got everyone in the clan that have played good ball so far. But they've just been kind of hanging around and against bad teams, like barely beating Colorado, who's now possibly the worse than UMass last 2 weeks. Good God, talk about them. Arizona, like struggled last week with Iowa State before they broke it open. When I look at both these teams, I see a more physical defense than really anyone's seen from the Big 12 in a long time. And, you know, we got a glimpse of it in that Utah game. Texas Tech is going to be introduced to the nation this week, although also kind of cucked. The 12 o'clock slot is really, really stacked. So, going to be some good games at noon. But when we talk about havoc, when we talk about early down plays, when we talk about passing efficiency and containing that and stuffing the ball at the line, that's what Texas Tech does. And having Baron Morton back looked great last week. You know, this is a game that I feel is going to be a solidifying playoff game. You have your one loss, Levitt, and all that. Throw it out. I have Texas Tech winning going away. I already placed this bet 9.5. I love this game. It's a multiple unit wager. It might be the lock, but it's for sure a best bet. Texas Tech is too physical, too complete. Sorry, BYU, first loss of the season.
Yeah. And BYU, this is back-to-back years now where they have started out the year and not even just started the year. I mean, now we're in November where they have just been incredible. Last year, you know, it ended up, you know, they ended up missing the college football playoff because they lost some games at the end. And it might end up happening this year too, but I just got to give them some love. Like the program that they've built there, like just the ability to win games, it's been pretty impressive to see.
For sure.
But with that said, I do agree with you. Typically when you see a line like this, where it's as big as it is, 10.5, but you have, you know, a team that's actually higher ranked in BYU getting the points, usually that's a sign to take the team that's laying the points. But I think Texas Tech's defense is going to have to be the unit that really sets the tone in this game. You know, obviously the offense needs to do their part, but the defense just needs to keep BYU, keep points off the board, and then let the Texas Tech offense do their thing comfortably. But I would agree with you. I'd lay it with Texas Tech.
Oh, we will. We will.
All right, moving on. Same time slot, 11 a.m. Central. We have Indiana staying on the road. Last week they were at Maryland. This week they are at Penn State. They're laying 14.5. Over-under is 48.5. And this game was on Fox. So Indiana, Penn State. I mean, you watched the Ohio State Penn State game last week. But I'll start. You know, my initial thoughts is similar to your line of thinking last week of about how did this preseason line look? And I'd imagine Penn State was probably favored by like 4.5 or something like that. So it does feel like quite a bit of points. I will say I'm not sure what to expect in terms of an atmosphere for this Penn State game. This is an 11 a.m. Central game. Do I think that they're going to be up for it? Honestly, I do, because Penn State has had the season from hell, and now here is like their one opportunity in front of their home fans to like really fight and make a statement. And I do think there's a lot of guys on that team that have pride and want to do that. So just off the cuff here, Burns, my lean Penn State plus 14.5.
Yeah, that's fair. The team seems to be rallying around Gunkenmeyer, but the stats just don't back it up, man. It could be, this will be one of the all-time historical seasons you look back at. We're sitting November 8th when this kicks off. Penn State doesn't have a Power 4 win yet. They're on a 5-game losing streak. They don't have a Big Ten win yet, for fuck's sake. Like, this team that was third favorite to win the college football playoff to start the season is now possibly going to Boca Raton in December. Like, everything that Indiana does, it was a good test last week against a lesser opponent with Maryland. Indiana started out slow. They looked sluggish, and they just turned it on. All three facets of the game is what you look for in a complete team that starts slow. Penn State was able to bottle up Ohio State on the run game a little bit. Obviously Indiana has a good passing attack, but they're able to probably bring a little bit more of a established running attack while Ohio State is still finding their feature back. So, interesting stat that I pulled was teams after playing Ohio State. And I think we can agree the best defense in the country, most physical, most disciplined, are 1-6 so far against the spread in the following game. So next up on that list is Penn State. So for that reason, I just think it would be a good story, and this would make their season. But I think Indiana is too disciplined as well, and I think they cover here.
Yeah. By the time Saturday rolls around, I might be tailing you with that pick.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not dying to lay it with Penn State, or take the points, I should say.
Trust me, when I was sitting there just watching the ball just sail through the air 55 yards, just right on number 4's chest, I was like, yeah, how are you holding a fucking Penn State plus 20 ticket, dude?
No shit. Against your own favorite team.
Well, not even that. It's just like, no shit, they're not going to cover. Like, there's nothing wicked or like spooky about it. Like, that's just discipline versus talent and skill.
Yeah. Same time slot yet again, but moving to the SEC, we got Georgia going on the road to Mississippi State, where Georgia is an 8.5 point favorite on the road. The over-under in this game is 56.5. I mean, I said it earlier. Georgia against Florida last week did not impress me. And I know it's just one game, and I know Florida gets up for that game, and it's a rivalry game, and Florida's got a lot of athletes on their team. Just go ask Kirby Smart after the game. He was very much pumping up the SEC. But Georgia just doesn't have that punch like I'm used to seeing these Georgia teams have over the years, whether it was with Stetson Bennett for a while. My God, did they just cook with that man. And even Carson Beck at times. And I just, so far, I'm just not seeing it. I don't know if it's the run game, if it's the quarterback, if it's the skill players, but I wasn't overly impressed. And then you got this Mississippi State team on the other side who finally won an SEC game. Congrats to Mississippi State as they took down Arkansas. So they get the monkey off their back. They're in front of their home fans. Got an opportunity to build off the momentum that they have. They've been looking better and better each week. I do got to give them props. They took Texas to overtime. They took Tennessee to overtime. They should have beat Florida. I mean, this is a team that has has been quietly improving throughout the year and isn't that bad of a squad. So my lean is Mississippi State plus 8.5. I know that's ugly because there's probably a big part of you or other people who are listening who are like, yeah, but it's Georgia and they need this win and they need to rise up, and maybe they will. But right now, Burns, Mississippi State.
No, I actually agree with your thinking, but I actually like the over in this game more than anything. One thing that has been true though is Mississippi State has just been in every SEC game this year. Even that Texas A&M game that ended up losing, they were in it first half, but every other game's been a one-score loss or win. And this is a team that last week I think shows what they're building to how bad they looked in the first half. Only scoring 7 points to end up 31 second half points. I think Jeff Levy and Blake Shapen have a great connection there. I think this offense is going to be able to move the ball against, yet again, a very pedestrian Georgia secondary. And this is a unheard of Georgia defense that we're seeing. This is not your it's not your grandpappy's Georgia defense. So I would also lay on the side of Mississippi State, and I'm looking to sprinkle on that money line.
I could see it, dude. I mean, they easily could have beaten Tennessee at home. They easily could have beaten Texas at home. They did beat Arizona State at home. They're quietly under the radar.
If you just take the season in a vacuum and not who Georgia is, this feels exactly like what we saw last week leading up to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech just kept winning close games. You kind of knew a loss was coming in because they just, it's not that we don't like using the word do. That's very Joe. But it's like they have too much to work on. So like the right team, like enough teams have figured out, but you've just survived. So the right team comes along, the right situation. I think on the road with those fucking annoying ass cowbells. And Brandon Walker, does he get redemption? Barstool is going to Starkville. And a pretty viral moment of him running down the sideline versus Texas. And then only to be captured in the corner of the end zone for when Texas caught the game-winning touchdown. Does he get redemption? I think possibly so. So
interesting.
Bulldogs.
All right.
Oh, dog versus dog matchup. We got a dog pound.
Wow. Got a dog fight.
Let's keep Michael Vick away from this game.
Ha ha. All right. Staying
Sorry, Mike, I love you.
Thanks for being a supporter of the pod.
Number 7.
Keeping it in the SEC, Saturday, 2:30 p.m. Central. Number 3, Texas A&M goes on the road, taking on number 22, Missouri. ABC, the spread is 7 in favor of Texas A&M. The over/under 47.5. Go ahead.
We'll see here. Texas A&M has just kind of been outlasting teams as well. Like, they've been tested all season. They haven't looked like, again, I think you talked about at the top of the show. It's Ohio State, Indiana, and there's a gap. So, yes, we think Texas A&M is clear number 3. I don't care what the fuck Booger McFarland's saying on ESPN or whoever. I think Texas A&M should be number 1. Whatever. Look at the field. You can't give up 42 to Arkansas and say they're the number 1 team in the country.
Right.
Like, what are we even talking about here? You can't only score 16 against Auburn. All right. Anyway, listen, I tell you,
you're right.
If you want to get hyped up on a bet, like, get your Twitter algorithm in the Missouri Twitter algo. Because I'm in the Missouri Twitter algorithm somehow, and they have me fired up. I think they can win this game based on their fan base. Now, that's not even looking at numbers because, unfortunately, if you recall, Prebula got hurt, although better diagnosis than expected. They pull off an upset here. There's still a chance that he could come back and play this season. It turned out to be a sprain and no torn ligaments. So that's good. No surgery. But they are playing a third string a third string quarterback here. Both teams light up pretty green and everything we want to see when it comes to statistics. Missouri's defense is better than you think. Like that Vanderbilt game was not just an indictment of two teams that haven't always been good. Like that was more of an indictment on how good the defenses were in a prime time, not prime-ish time, in a mid-afternoon but game day type game. And Missouri showed up. You know, they are a team that's going to keep you in front of the sticks. And I see this more like a Auburn Texas A&M game, a lower scoring game. I like the under in this game. I like the underdog, but with that third string quarterback, I'm not sure that Missouri is going to be able to get it completely over the line enough to be comfortable sprinkling on the money line. But if there is a weakness in Texas A&M's defense, it is against the run. So if we can get 45 carries between Roberts and Hardy and really just grind this like another Vanderbilt, like 17-10 game, that's where Missouri can pull the upset.
Yeah, definitely. I would have to agree. I would also lean the under, and I very much think Mizzou has a chance to keep this game spunky because I feel like this team has fought, and I feel like this is a team that likes each other, just kind of watching them play throughout the year. It's just the big question mark with the quarterback and how much of the game is going to fall on the quarterback. And also, how is Missouri's defense going to slow down Texas A&M's offense, which has been good this year? But I do think Missouri is capable of that because, as you mentioned, their defense has been pretty good. Man, Missouri has been close, man. They were close against Bama. They were close against Vanderbilt, even with the Pribula injury. This does feel like a Mizzou spot. I will say that. Both teams are off the bye, I believe. It's just that big question mark with the third string quarterback. You know, will he throw a back-breaking pick six? You know, like I'm serious though. Like
Well, that's the only he can't just I don't know, throw 110 yards. He's got to throw the pick six.
Well, when you got a backup, more chance for error and bad decisions typically. So,
luckily, this isn't the NFL though, so there's the talent is there to recruit him there. So it's just we haven't been able to mold him yet. So you have to. They're confident in this kid.
look, the reality is that Mizzou needs to be able to run the ball effectively, and they need to be able to have a good game play calling. And based on what I've seen from the Texas A&M defense, especially on the road, look at their performance against Notre Dame, look at their performance against Arkansas. I think Mizzou has a chance to hit some big plays, whether it's like running or like screens or plays like that.
Yep. We'll say just looking at this graphic, such bullshit. 4 of the 6 games blacked out for us.
It's terrible. Like it really is such bullshit.
There is a hack though. If you have ESPN Plus account, which I do, the ABC game is on ESPN 3, so you could stream it that way. Just the basic ESPN Plus account, not the fucking $30 a month one.
All right. Now we're moving back to the Big Ten. And if there was one game that I could watch all day long, this would be the game.
Wow.
We got Oregon at Kinnick taking on Iowa. Oregon is on the road, and they are laying 6.5 points in the over-under. Get ready for this. 40.5. 2:30 p.m. Central, CBS. Dude, if Iowa wins this game, then they just got to beat USC and Nebraska, and they're in the college football playoff.
If Iowa wins this game, then they have 2 more if Iowa wins this games.
Precisely.
I mean, yeah. You know what is bullshit is that, you know, obviously I have a Iowa plus 700 to make the playoff preseason. Boy, this feels a lot harder than a plus $700 bet. Like, can we get better odds next season of teams like Iowa? Like, this feels like some heavy work. versus like a 3-leg anytime touchdown parlay.
No
That's
kidding.
like plus 700. Anyway, dude, this game has me confused as hell. All these numbers. Iowa's been covering overs this season. Iowa to the over?
The offense looks better. Yeah.
Offense looks better. But when I look back, some of these games that they've been in, they've come into an advantageous schedule. And the only thing that makes me confident that they can cover is that Indiana. You keep going back to that Indiana game, but that was the first time Indiana was tested. So you got to remember that. First time, and you take them off that weird turf that they have laid and you put them in grass. And I'm sure Iowa grew out that grass. They're probably going to do the same thing here. These Oregon speedsters, they're going to get that grass where it's going to be like you could see the players' ankles. You can't even see what shoe they're wearing.
Yeah, like they're in the cornfield.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was a little disappointed. This game is 2:30. Under the lights would have been a automatic Iowa bet. But the reason I'm so confused about this game is the last few years before the Big Ten converged, Iowa made it to the Big Ten championship a couple times, and clearly both sides were a little out of whack, and they just got their doors beat off. Pause. When they played a good team in the Big Ten championship. So I think this is a opportunity for Oregon to silence the haters. I would lean the over in this game. And I don't know what side I want to pick, Alex. Do you have a side?
Yes, and that side is Iowa. Plus the points.
Whoa.
Some might say it's sharp. Some might say it's fake sharp. All I can tell you is that it's a winner. Iowa has a real good shot to win this game outright. And this team, to me, has a different level of feeling relative to some of the teams that you were describing in years past about them clearly being overmatched by the big boys or the powerhouses. I feel like this Iowa team has been building, and I think they obviously needed that win against Penn State in Kinnick a few weeks ago, but they've also beat Wisconsin 37-0 on the road, and then they beat Minnesota something along the lines of like 42-3 or something like that. Same score that Ohio State beat them. Iowa looks like they've turned a corner. I've watched enough football in my life to recognize teams who are like, oh shit, like this is like the 2007 New York Giants or something. Like, oh boy. Burns, it's going to be dark by the third quarter. This game is in Kinnick, and there's rain in the forecast.
Okay, this is Iowa.
I think it's Iowa.
I'm going to actually switch to the under as well. This is definitely not rain. No, thank you. And I'm also just going to go Iowa money line. Both teams close with Penn State. Both teams won. Indiana dominated Oregon, and Iowa hung in with Indiana. Oregon struggled mightily with Wisconsin, 7-0 at half, only win 21-7. That's at home. That's in Eugene. Iowa wins 37-0 in Camp Randall. Give me the Hawkeyes money line. Add it to the card. You inspired me. This is a all-time upset. I've also, how could I forget? I am so big on the Dante Moore is a fraud train. This is the game that it truly comes out. Iowa money line. Send it to your family in a postcard or whatever.
Dan Lanning, please don't clip this.
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting the pod, though. We appreciate you, Dan.
Yep, exactly.
Humble brag. All right, cool, man. Let's go Hawks. And then our final big game, back to the SEC. This is always a treat every year, similar to how I feel about Tennessee versus Alabama. Maybe it's just a Bama thing. I don't know. We got LSU taking on Alabama. Bama's at home. They're laying 10.5 points. Over-under's 49.5, 6:30 p.m. Central. ABC. Now, this is going to be LSU's first game without Brian Kelly as their head coach, and they are also off a bye. So they have had some time here to digest, process, maybe get some new energy, whatever that might be. And on the flip side of that, you got Bama also coming off a bye. And this is huge for Bama, not just this game, but just this stretch of games coming up for their college football playoff hopes and aspirations. So what do you think of this one?
I do want to clarify one thing before we move on. You famously said that your favorite campus you visited in college and had good times at was Iowa. Is that true or false?
True.
Okay. Is there a bit of a bias in the last game that we broke down, Alex? Have you led me down a fool's errand?
I think there could be a little bias.
Oh fuck, dude! God damn it!
You know, I've been in that stadium a couple times.
Oh no! Oh, and Oregon's up 35-3 in the third quarter. Oh fuck!
Well, like you said at the top, you said this game really confuses you. So I can tell that you still have some processing to do.
Dante Moore's a fraud. I trust my friend Alex. Iowa all the way.
Back and forth we go.
Yep. All right. Yeah. Is this a dead cat bounce situation? Listen, I looked into that when it talks about, the hiring bump. It's nothing crazy. I think it was like 56 to 58% win the following week. It's not as crazy as everyone makes it seem. It's just usually people remember, obviously, the wins more than the losses. It's kind of like the situation where, you see like an old person at 100. It's like, oh, I smoked a cigar and drank a glass of whiskey every day, and that's my key to life. And it's like, oh yeah, well, what about the millions of other people that died of like cirrhosis at 50?
Yep.
It's like, yeah, you're just you're the lucky one. You're the misnomer. So I'm not going to rely on that aspect of it. What I'm going to rely on is that Alabama's defense hasn't been similar to Georgia. I think they're a little stronger than Georgia's defense. Haven't been as impressive. And a team that has had no run identity all season in LSU might have some opportunities. And, or they might just completely do what Brian Kelly wouldn't do, and that is throw the ball 59 times because you have an elite wide receiving core and an elite quarterback. And that's what we have to deal with this season. It's not going to change. There's no adding people midseason. So let's just push what we have and rely on a defense that's been better than average. So I think that's the route they're going to take. And I think there's enough strength in this defense. This line is way too high. Alabama has not been impressive, in my opinion. When I watch Alabama, I see a team that we already laid into Shane Beamer last week, but 10 points is too many points. I know you like LSU a lot. I'm not ready to jump on the money line because I already let them off the train stop about 3 weeks ago. But I do think 10 is too many. I'll take 10 with LSU on the road even, and I think that's the right side. I don't know about it. I don't know about a total.
Yeah, I see it the same way as far as LSU getting the points. I think we're going to see a team that has a different type of energy to them this week. This is still a rivalry game. I think LSU is going to come out with some spunk and maybe a little new zest to them. Obviously, they still have their issues, but this is more about Alabama, I think. And I do have to give Bama their props for winning games. Like at the end of the day, you need to find ways to win football games. But you are correct. They have not been an overly impressive team. And eventually it's going to catch up to them unless they start playing some better football. That's just the truth. It's going to catch up to them, whether in the regular season or the college football playoff, unless they start making improvements. So yeah, I like LSU plus the points here. It's too many points. And as far as the over-under goes of 49.5, I think Bama's offense will continue to make make some plays, but I think LSU will hang around as well. So slight lean to the over.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Like it wouldn't be easy to get there, but like 27-24 type shit.
Whoa.
6-7.
Jeez, that's really just sweating. I mean, you would be way better off betting the under if that's what you think the game is.
Right, alternate under.
I mean, you're clearing by 1.5 points.
Win to win, baby.
Yeah, I guess so. You should just bet a goddamn correct score bet.
Yeah, at this point, with that over under reasoning.
Oh, I'd love to see a correct score bet hit the card at like 150 to 1. That's how you bring the season back, baby.
No kidding, right?
150 on one game. 150 units on one game.
That's why you tail these picks on this pod. All right, well that's the big game slate. So let's move on to the games of note. Whenever you want to flip the slide here, we can get going. Perfect. So we're going to start on Friday where we have a big game. Tulane taking on Memphis. And this is a Friday game, ESPN, 8 p.m. Central. Spread is 4.5. It's down to 3.5 in favor of Memphis. And the over-under is 53.5. You got Memphis in your playoff bracket currently. So curious to hear your thoughts on this game. This is a huge game.
Yeah, they're only in there because of current play. I mean, brutal loss for the Green Wave here. That's me. Another preseason bet that I had for them to make the playoff, clearly backing them as the G5 team and not an at-large team. I'll tell you what, this game means a lot if you're a G5 fan because it worries me. Tulane wins this. It worries me that they're going to have to put a 2-loss G5 team in the automatic bid, and that's going to deter, like they might kick the G5 bid out, and that scares me. So it kind of has me pulling for Memphis to just win out and just be one loss and get in. Anyway, that's besides the point of this game. So hopefully North Texas can win. Anyway, both these teams, Tulane showed me, unfortunately, a lot last week. That was a little surprising. Obviously was on Tulane with the points, and UTSA just fucking beat the brakes off those boys. And not a good look. They've kind of come back down to earth. They've looked good all season outside of that Ole Miss game. And then Memphis, they are a team that, throw that UAB win out or UAB loss out. They're a team that has shown some tenacity, beating an SEC team. They kind of ended Arkansas' season, to be honest.
Yeah.
But they're a team that likes to commit to the run. They're very run heavy. They're very successful at running the ball. And, what we saw last week was UTSA being able to kind of move the ball through the air. So, see this game being close. I'm going to take Tulane to bounce back, keep it close. Still think Memphis can win, but I think Tulane keeps it within the number. I think a field goal game.
Yeah. I don't know much about either of these teams, but I think at this point I would lean Memphis in this spot to cover because they're at home, because it's Friday night. It's a massive game. Some teams piss down their legs in these types of spots. Other teams rise to the occasion. But you look at Tulane, they've had some close wins as of late. 7-point win against Army, 7-point win against East Carolina. And then, of course, like you said, they got their doors blown out against UTSA last week. So it's a small number, 3.5. I would probably lean in the direction of Memphis. Dude, I just really want to see South Florida in the playoff. I'm going to be honest.
Okay. That's fair. I would like to see. I'd like to see North Texas and South Florida in the AAC championship.
Yeah,
I think those are two teams that can compete if they get a chance to get in the college football playoff.
I agree. Like, I know Memphis beat South Florida, so they're rightfully ahead of them. But I think South Florida is the better team, and I would really enjoy seeing them make it. Keeping it at Friday, 8 p.m. Central, we have Northwestern taking their talents out west, take on the USC Trojans. Spread in this game is 14.5 in favor of USC. Every Brad, Mark, and Jim that you know will be on USC, minus the points in this one. Over under is 49.5. This game's on Fox. What do you think?
Sorry, 6 o'clock crept up on me. I didn't put my Toledo bet in, so I'm currently placing that. Why don't you lead us off? This is your team, bud.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Northwestern yet again.
Did you put a Jolly Rancher in?
Oh, you can hear that?
What do you mean you can hear that? It's like you just put a fucking jawbreaker the size of a goddamn basketball in your mouth.
It's crushed ice. Thank you very much. Northwestern has been a spunky team under David Braun, and they continue to be a spunky team. Now, this is a very difficult spot for them because you're playing a USC team who's clearly much better at home than they are on the road. And USC is coming off a big win that they absolutely needed, even if it was a little fortuitous with Dylan Raiola getting hurt in that ball game. So it starts here for USC. If they have any hopes of making the college football playoff, I mean, I guess it started last week technically, but we continue to build this week. USC's final 3 games after Northwestern: host Iowa, at Oregon, host UCLA. Just for reference. USC this year at home, they have beaten Michigan by 18. They beat Michigan State by 14, and then they beat Georgia Southern and Missouri State earlier in the year. All that to say, I'm concerned about Northwestern's ability to keep up and keep pace in this game. I think USC has a really good opportunity to dictate the pace in this game and make it more of a track meet shootout type game without the shootout part on Northwestern. I think USC covers the 14.5. I think it's a little too small of a number. I see this game being somewhere along the lines of 35-14.
Oh, down the sideline. Go. Opening kickoff return for a touchdown. Your Toledo Rockets put it into the end zone. Big. If you follow Act Sports, 49 straight days of betting.
You sounded just like a college football radio broadcaster.
Bang, that's huge. All right. Alex, I think you're spot on there. And you know me in Friday night games. They give me the willies. So that is one thing we got to take into consideration here. I know that USC plays a lot better at home, but the Friday night aspect, short week, it's not a normal week, what you're used to. Northwestern off a bye? Is that right?
That's correct.
And USC, yeah. So this number is very weird. I think talent-wise, Northwestern has shown us that they can physically compete with teams that maybe in the preseason we didn't think that they could. Do we think that this game is very different than the Oregon Northwestern game?
No.
So I think we should lay USC then.
I'm with you. I just think USC, they got the win that they needed last week. They're much better at home. The defense is improving.
I think Northwestern has their game of the year next year. At Wrigley, hosting Michigan. I think that's a winnable game from what we've seen on the field.
Yeah.
And I think they just get steamrolled and then say, we're off to Wrigley. We're ready to end Michigan season.
Yeah. I would love to see Northwestern beat Michigan.
At Wrigley. I mean, that's your favorite stadium, right?
I mean, hell no. Go White Sox.
Not like
Hell
Nick
no.
listens to this anyway.
No. God forbid he supports his friends with a college
Yeah.
football podcast.
He tried to tell me it was in his rotation. I said, "Yeah, give me one pick from last week."
Nothing. He probably started laughing.
No, that'd be a good. That's a nice Friday night game. I like our Friday night slate. Those two games. So, yeah, good to have those. And our boys are back up with another game. This is what happens when you start getting good in the SEC. You play a new team every week, and you got a new challenge.
Yep. We got Vanderbilt returning back to Nashville since their college game day appearance, and they're taking on Auburn. Vandy is laying 6.5. Over-under is 45.5. 3 p.m. Central. And I'm not sure, Xander, if it is Vanderbilt coming off a loss against Texas or if it's Vanderbilt playing their first home game since college game day and that type of energy and atmosphere, or if it's Auburn firing their coach and maybe having a little bit of a bump. But this game gives me the absolute creeps.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm pretty solid in this game. I love that it's under a touchdown. I'm going to be Vanderbilt's making the card again. I mean, like I told you, the dead cat bounce situation is more of a myth than it is fact. So this whole new coach situation, never a DJ Durkin fan. I just think this Auburn offense is so bad. LSU has a specific problem on their offense, but their talent there is immaculate. Auburn just has Cam Coleman, Jackson Arnold. You can't fix that with a new coach. Like, I'm sorry, you just can't.
Is Jackson Arnold, is he back to being the quarterback? Because they played Ashton Daniels last week.
Okay, yeah. So even more to my point is like they're already moved on from their star transfer coming in. So and what did that result them? 3 points against Kentucky. So I love Vandy in this spot. I think that momentum from how they finished that Texas game is exactly how they need to be playing offense going forward because Alex, Vanderbilt wins out, they're in the playoff. A 10-2 Vanderbilt beating LSU, and then they're only beating Missouri. Their only two losses would then be to Alabama and Texas. And then you'd have Tennessee under the belt as well on the road. So 10-2 Vanderbilt would get in my mind.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, do you have any concerns that their quality of play has slipped over the last few weeks? Just take Auburn out of the equation. Let's just focus on Vanderbilt. Do you think this is a team that's in neutral? Do you think they're a little stagnant? Do you feel like they're growing? You feel like they're maybe slipping a bit? Where's kind of your head at with them?
I truly think that I think Clark Lee found something in that second half that he needs to let the boys run. Like, and I'm not talking about run the ball. I'm talking about just let them loose. Like this whole like strategic game plan coming into every game. Pavia is an improviser. He is a gamer. Like you cannot keep that boy in a cage. And once they got down and they just let him free, like what do you know? 3 scores later, they're an onside kick away from stealing this game on the road. So I think if we can accept that, I think this team will continue to improve. And also, I think the defense just had a down game. I mean, I think it's two things meeting at a head. Texas taking out a lot of frustration, having no offense all season, starting to find a little bit of a groove, and then Vanderbilt's defense has been, dude, they've had to play Missouri, LSU, Alabama 3 weeks in a row. I mean, that's taxing on a defense. So I think getting an offense that's less taxing will give a little bit more pep to the step, and that's why I like Vanderbilt so much under a touchdown.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies because exactly that. I'm like, why is it 6.5? This feels like it should be 12.5.
Yeah, that's Auburn's defense is still very, very good. So I just think that Vanderbilt's defense can also shut down Auburn's offense. So I would like the under in this game as well. I think it's like a 24 to 10 final.
Okay. All right. Love the analysis. We'll move on to your favorite team, Notrew Dame, as they host Navy. Navy is a 26.5-point road underdog. The over-under is 56.5, 6:30 p.m. Central. And don't fret, folks. You'll be able to watch this one on NBC.
Thank God, right? Feels like only a year ago we were just in. Was this for the diaper party? Some
Was
reason
it?
we were. I don't know. It might have just been
It goes 2 years ago.
Might have been Guys' Day. Because we were because no, this was last year because Notre Dame was. Navy was undefeated coming into the game.
Yes.
And they were down to only a 2 touchdown, and it was like 28-0 at the end of the first quarter.
That's right.
And we said, if Navy does something like this again, we can't be fooled. Alex, I think I'm getting fooled again.
Huh.
Because, dude, I mean, Notre Dame just looks so bad against Boston College, and they have no endearing qualities. Like, Navy's offense is built to stop the run. Boston College was able to fucking bottle up Jeremiah Love besides one play. Like, what are we doing here? Notre Dame's just so weird. Game is at home, though. We've got to take Notre Dame, right? I'm confused.
So, yes.
You need to be the godlike voice that tells me, Xander, take Notre Dame.
I would say Xander, way off the game.
That's fair. Look at all these X's, man. There's not much on.
Here's the thing. I don't have anything to base Navy off of because I just don't follow the smaller schools. Not that Navy is small, but you know what I mean. The smaller football schools relative to the power teams. I don't know who Navy is dealing with or who Notre Dame is dealing with in this Navy team.
Yeah, I mean, a good example would be watching North Texas. Obviously, Notre Dame's a better team than North Texas, we think. Boy, I would love to see that. Chaos happens. Notre Dame gets the 5 seed. North Texas plays Notre Dame. Ooh. All right. Anyway, get out of make-believe land. Yeah, you're probably right. I should just lay off this game. But I only bring it up because we said specifically, if this game's under 4 scores, we got to take Notre Dame.
Yeah. I wonder what unis Notre Dame's wearing. Are they wearing the greens? Are they wearing the blues?
I don't know.
All right. Enough of that fucking dog shit game.
Yep.
Moving on. And now we go to the ACC, folks, where we
Finally.
Exactly. Where we have Cal going on the road, taking on Louisville. Louisville's a 20.5-point favorite. The over-under is 50.5. Not sure what time this game is at. I have to look it up real quick.
6 o'clock Central.
6 o'clock Central. I mean, I definitely think Louisville's going to win the game. It's just a question of, are they covering 20.5?
That's a great question, Alex. I think the Cal steam has kind of come down a little bit. But I think this defense has enough to keep them in this game. You know, tough losing to Virginia Tech by 8. UNC probably should have won that game. They did get boat raced by Duke at Cal. So that we watched that game. Cal jumped out to the lead. Duke stormed back a ridiculous amount. I think they had 38 unanswered. So I think we go over here. And I think Louisville can put up 40 on their own. And can Cal get 21 to 24 to keep it within the number? Yes. That's why we stay away from such a big spread and we take the over.
Yeah. I like where your head's at with that game. I would lean Louisville to cover the 20.5. Saturday night against an inferior opponent. There might be some heavy hearts in the crowd in that game too.
Papa John die?
No, just the tragedy at the Louisville airport.
Oh, geez. Had to bring that. Geez.
I'm not
Did
trying.
not know where you were going there.
I'm not trying to be somber. But I guess I am.
Jeez.
I'm just saying. I think we're going to see some inspired football from Louisville on Saturday.
Okay. I like that. All right, Sicko, we got a big slate. We'll fire through this. Oh wait, I clicked big games.
Sicko slate. Here we go. We got Maryland at Rutgers. Folks, Maryland is the better team. If you're playing this game, you got to be taking Maryland.
Really? Look at that total, though. 59. Ooh.
Brother, that's crazy.
That is fucking crazy, isn't it? Rutgers is a team that cannot stop a runny nose in the summer, if that's a phrase in the South.
Dude, they are so beyond cooked. Like, Maryland actually hung in that game against Indiana until the wheels completely fell off. But Maryland's been competitive this year, and they've been building something there. Rutgers, they started off kind of hot, and all of a sudden they have just, it has been bad.
Yeah, they have just been stalling. They started out 3-0, and they've lost every game since.
No, they beat Purdue, I think.
Oh, you're right. They did beat Purdue. All right. So they've won one game since. Yeah, I actually like your lane. I got ball sacked last week. I thought Mike Loxley got fired. He did not. So gotta stay vigilant in the streets out there.
Sure
There's
do.
Ball sacks everywhere. Pause.
Make sure to take your creatine every morning and continue to stay hydrated.
Yep. All right, let's go. Let's do Maryland. I like that.
Kansas going on the road to take on Arizona. Arizona's laying 4.5 over under 56.5. Arizona, they are looking a little bit better. My initial gut reaction was lay it with Arizona.
Really? Okay, we're on different sides here, Alex. Gentleman's wager. Loser shaves their hair, sends it to the winner as a trophy.
Yeah, that's totally normal.
No.
Okay, Dahmer.
Yeah. Little gentleman's wager of a shot on air next week.
Ooh, what a punishment.
I know, right? The winner takes the shot.
Exactly.
No, but I like Kansas here. I do. I think Arizona's a bit of a fool's gold team. This is under my fool's gold Power 5 here conference. I need to make a fool's gold conference to keep up with all the teams that I just think that game against Colorado, they're just playing against a team that is so checked out, ready to roll just into the next transfer window. Hung in there with Houston. I thought that was good. Again, it's just a passing attack from Fafita that I thought would get going, but it's still just kind of stagnant. And I think I just trust Jalen Daniels as a dog.
Yeah. Kansas needs to have a nice bounce back win. Like, I know they beat Oklahoma State last week, but they need to go out and beat Zona. Get back on track.
Agreed.
We got Duke taking on UConn. Duke laying 9.5 points over under 65.5, 2:30 p.m. Thoughts?
65.5 is so many points. What is this? Do you think the basketball teams cover that over?
Yes.
Each team?
UConn does play good defense. I would still say yes. Maybe. It's a good question.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Duke maybe in a letdown spot here. Yeah, a game they absolutely had no business winning last week against Clemson. Did you see that shit?
Not really.
Oh, man. Just go after this. Just go on Twitter and look up Duke pass interference. The Duke player legitimately trucked the Clemson defender. Like he initiated, like the defender like had his back turned, and they threw the flag. It was 4th and long, and they gave Duke a free first down. Duke scores with little time left on the clock and go for 2. They won 46-45. So I think a little bit of fool's errand. UConn has got an offense that can kind of Fagano. They got Joey Nicano at quarterback here that can really sling it around the yard. 10 maybe too many points. But I'll tell you what, Alex, plug your nose. They got Rice in double overtime to 37. I mean, Rice, a team that does not score. Take the over.
Okay. Take the over, he says. Interesting. Yeah, I just looked up that PI call. Huh, what a joke. All right.
Can we get some fucking accountability in this sport?
Please, man. My God. Games coming down to shit like that. It's insane. Air Force, San Jose State. San Jose State laying 5, over under 66.5. 4 p.m. Central, FS1. What you got?
I already placed this bet because it's up to 67. I got it 66.5. I'm on the over. Another Air Force over. This team just... Oh, fucking God, dude. You fucking moron. This team just doesn't play defense. I finally got, like I said, Army last week, a little more physical than Navy, so that's why that game stuck under. But, man, did they try to get over. They just kept creeping up. First half was a no-brainer, and then second half. Anyway, if you haven't heard of him, Danny Scudero, boy, this is a electric factory on San Jose State at wideout. This kid is nothing but deep balls.
Pause.
Yeah, big time pause. I see a similar game script as last week, 45-38 versus Hawaii. Up and down the field all day long. This is an over for me. Don't get scared about that number. It'll get into the 80s easily.
Wow. Coming in with some confidence and conviction in that game.
This is a category for a potential lock. It's already a best bet. I've got 2 best bets already. So figuring out what the lock's going to be.
Okay. We'll keep it rolling in the ACC. Florida State at Clemson. Clemson is laying 2.5 points at home. Over under is 56. 6 p.m. Central, ACC Network. Think Clemson gets it done, right? With the short number.
Ugh. I mean, how many times can you get up? You know, Florida State was in a drought situation there, and they finally turned around, beat the brakes off of Wake Forest, who's just been the peskiest team in the ACC. By the way, I was on the under in that game, and Florida State was really doing its best to get there by itself, so ended up cashing. First of all, let's talk about this game. Should be game day, under the lights, ABC.
Right.
This game's on ACC Network at 6. Wow.
Mighty have fallen.
Wow. I mean, even with Clemson losing 2 of their first 3, Florida State still started off hot. Who could have thought it? Lose 4 in a row. So I just trust I trust the over in this game, 56. I think Castellanos still has got that dog in him. And it looks like Clemson's defense is just refusing to play any. Like giving up 46 to Duke is just, with the defensive talent you have at Clemson, it's inexplainable. They give up 35 to SMU. Come on, give me the over. I don't know which side. Yeah, I could see either side winning, but could also see Clemson just completely mailing in the rest of the season.
Yeah. How about Wake Forest taking on Virginia?
You not have a play in that game?
I lean Clemson. That's my lean.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wake Forest taking on Virginia. Virginia, 6.5-point home favorites, over under 48.5, 6 p.m. Central. Dude, Wake Forest just lost on the road 42-0, and now they're only 6.5. Now they're only 6.5-point dogs against Virginia.
Telling you, man, they've just been a thorn in everyone's side. That was a classic talent dispersion. They beat SMU on that buzzer beater. No problem beating Oregon State, but beat Virginia Tech on the road. Take Georgia Tech to the wire. Lost by 10 to NC State. This team has been pesky. And then they have games where they almost lose to Kennesaw. So,
right.
This game would scare the shit out of me if I'm a Virginia fan. I actually saw this game and I thought, I'm clicking Wake right away. I don't know if it will make it to the card, but when we break down both of these teams, Wake's defense will suffocate you, and their offense is not very intimidating, though. So they're going to need to keep it ugly. So if you like Wake, you like the under, too.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it is a big bounce back spot for them after the Florida State game last week.
So yeah, for sure.
I'm sure they'll come in focused and motivated. SEC game on the SICKO slate. We got Florida taking on Kentucky, where Florida is a 3-point favorite on the road. Over under 43.5, 6:30 p.m. Central on the SEC network. Look, man, I mean, we got Kentucky coming off a win. They finally got a dub, and now they're playing this Florida team who's looking to get off the mat yet again. I mean, ultimately, I think Florida is the better team, and I think they're more likely to cover the 3 in this ugly game as opposed to Kentucky winning outright or covering the +3. My lean is Florida minus the 3 in this game. They bounce back after the Georgia game and win and cover.
How many times can you get up on just a bad season would be my question. Kentucky seems like the team playing with no repercussions, right? Big win versus Auburn. I think this is a weird game. I think we just have to go the under. Might just be exactly 10-3 again.
It could.
Like both of these, now that Florida has just looked good against bad defenses.
Right.
Got to remember, this is also a bad offense in Florida. Like they haven't really found much either. So I would play the. I'm surprised it's actually that high at 43.5.
It's a good thought.
That is a key number though. That 24-21. Ugh, that sucked to lose that way.
Or 23-20 though.
Ooh, you're right. Because 24-21 would involve a lot of end zone production, and that's probably not going to be the case, especially for Kentucky.
Nebraska, without Dylan Raiola at quarterback, going on the road, taking on UCLA. UCLA is a 1.5-point home favorite, over under 43.5, 8 p.m. Central on Fox. I mean, I'm not an expert with either of these teams, but I got to believe that Nebraska is going to have a difficult time consistently scoring enough points without Raiola on the field, who is, a good quarterback, as opposed to this new guy that they're playing. So initial lean was UCLA, but I don't know. Maybe Nebraska will, rise to the occasion. What do you think?
So he's officially out?
He's out for the year.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he tore his ACL.
Oh, I missed that.
Yep.
How did that not come across my desk? Oh, that sucks. Yeah, what we saw last week, sure. I mean, you're coming off the bench. You're not getting a full week of reps, but yikes. It did not look good. And we've seen some positive. We can obviously throw away that Indiana beatdown.
Hey, I'm sorry. He broke his fibula. He is still out for the year, but just want to clarify that.
Thank you. We're dedicated to the correct information on this media source. Could have just let that ACL go, and I would never know the difference. So I appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, listen, UCLA is a different team under Skipper and Neuheisel. I think they just throw out that Indiana loss of just, listen, that's just a game where we're outmatched and we're on the road. And I see a team that this game reminds me a little bit of the Minnesota style game here. I think UCLA will be able to create enough havoc and potentially get to the quarterback, but they should have a good offensive game plan to bounce back from only 6 points scored. Not scared of Nebraska's offense against a mobile quarterback. So I like UCLA.
Yeah, that's my lean as well, especially being at home. And then the final one here, San Diego State at Hawaii on the island. We got San Diego State as a 7-point road favorite. Over under is 50.5, 10 p.m. Central Mountain West Network. Hey, does San Diego State have a chance to make the playoff?
They might, dude. That might be the one team no one's talking about. Sean Lewis, former Kent State, former MAC guy. He's got this team. I think they were like, no joke, 70-1 to win the conference preseason. Something insane. Already over their win total. But yeah, what they keep doing week in and week out is shut teams the fuck down. Granted, Wyoming is one of the worst offenses in the country, but still, you do your job. That's all. Good teams do their job and execute. That's what I look for in good teams. That being said, you got to go to the Big Island on 1 week's rest. I like Hawaii inside that number. I think you can get it 7.5 at some places. But Aliato should be able to compete a little bit. You saw a little bit of errors in this armor, but it does scare me a little bit. 3 games, they've shut out opponents. Northern Illinois, they only gave up 3. So this defense is very legit. Very legit.
Yeah, this is actually a very interesting game. I'm cheering for San Diego State. I would lay it with them. I think they're hot. So that would be my lane.
Pause, dude. Why don't you marry him?
They're San Diego, bro. Like, of course they're hot.
Yep. I guess that's not really that long of a flight when you're already right there.
True.
Shout out to Timmy Chang in Hawaii, though, for getting bowl eligible already.
Yeah. That's huge.
That was a team you were kind of on the fence about and didn't pull the trigger about getting bowl eligible.
That's huge for that program.
Should have trusted your gut.
Yeah. Gut's getting smaller, so harder to trust it. Humble brag.
Yeah.
Big deal.
All right, that is the end of the SICKO slate. So let's get into I guess a abbreviated Mac Messiah minute.
Yep.
We've got I don't even have the graphic up. Let me grab it. Because we currently have whoa. Fuck.
Man, if you're still hanging around and listening to this podcast, just know that we love you. We appreciate you. And
yeah,
you're
exactly.
A real one.
Yep. And so, listen, we already have most of the MAC games going. So going forward, I'll be recording at the beginning of every week, dropping a podcast on Tuesday, just covering the midweek MAC games. I had 5 plays this week. On Saturday, we have 1 play, Bowling Green versus Eastern Michigan. Bowling Green's one of the worst teams in the entire country. Drew Pine is clearly hurt. This number is still under a field goal. We're taking Eastern Michigan. Not much else to cover. We'll say the sweet ups and downs of MACtion. Last night, we had 2 plays in the game. We had Miami money line and the over. You know, it sucked to lose both, but it's where you want to be as a bettor, right? Your team has the ball with 2 minutes to go. Drive 80 yards, and you hit both your bets. That's a sweet feeling. But of course that didn't happen. So the worst feeling. But so we're even in MACtion for the season, 16-16. I vow to go on a run. So this one's for you guys. Here on out.
Love it. That was a good game. It really sparked up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it did.
Miami of Ohio and Ohio.
Yep.
All right. What's next?
Teaser, I believe.
Teaser. The
Why don't you talk
teaser.
about your little teasies first?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm taking Mississippi State from 8.5 to 15. I mean, I just hope Mississippi State, doesn't piss down their leg in a spot to really be impressive here. But I'm going to trust them in our teaser, take them up to plus 15 against Georgia. A game we did not talk about, rightfully so, North Carolina. They are a 7.5-point favorite this week against Stanford. North Carolina is coming off their first win of the year. They're at home. And how am I going to fade Belichick after his first win of the year in ACC play against Stanford, of all teams? So, yeah, give me North Carolina. Tease down to -1, please. And then my final pick, we already talked about this, LSU up to plus 17 against Alabama. I love that bet. So, yeah, that's me.
That me. Okay. Yeah, for mine, I'm going to do a few things that we usually advocate against here, Alex, and I'm sorry.
Oh, great.
I'm sorry, but I'm taking some favorites here. Texas Tech down to -3. I'd almost please them. Pause. JMU down to -7 over Marshall. This JMU team, talk about teams outside that have an outside chance. JMU and San Diego State, very live. And then Ohio State. Give me them under 24 against Purdue. Yes, please. They're just a cover machine. They've covered their last 13 games against the spread.
Wow.
So since the start of the playoff till today, they've covered every single game.
That's just a sign of an elite football team.
Good. What is it? Good teams win, great teams cover.
Yep.
And then the pleaser. Shit. I don't think I saved it. So do you want to talk about yours while I upload it?
Yeah, for sure. So my pleaser picks, this is when you tease a team the opposite way and gives you better odds. That is for sure. So one of my picks was LSU from 10.5 down. What are we doing pleaser wise? 6 points? 7 points?
Yeah, 6 points.
So LSU is currently plus 10.5. I'm going to please them to plus 4.5. I think they got a good shot to win against Bama. And if you're giving me 4.5, I'm going to take it. Remember, this is a long shot bet. So, just take it with a grain of salt. But I do like the pick. I do stand by the pick. And then Iowa money line. Already talked about it. Dark, Kinnick, rain, good team, confident. Yeah, give me the Hawkeyes on the money line.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Hey.
Okay. Great. Oh man. What do I want here? I'm trying to figure out my second pleaser.
Well, who's your first while you do the second?
Yeah, so my first one, oh shit, I didn't even pick a first one. I don't have my two pleasers. I think what I'm looking at here, I'm looking at UConn down to plus 3.5. So they're 9.5s to Duke. I think Duke is just in a they're just in a squirrely situation. And I don't mind where UConn is at as a team. And then man, who else should we lay it with?
I did consider Mississippi State.
That's really putting the nuts on the table there. Yeah. I don't mind that. You know what? This is going to make me look really stupid or really smart. I'm going to go Texas Tech -16.
Okay.
I really believe in that team to just completely trounce the other team, BYU.
Similar to a Cincinnati-Utah game.
Yeah, I think so. It was the exact same spread, too.
Yep.
So how about that?
I love it. We're winning it.
Yep.
This week.
I'm just going to flash it up here so I can get the timestamp. Boy, that'd be cool, huh? Because that pays like 65.
Yeah, it'd be freaking sick. It would be awesome.
Minus 9.5 to minus 15.5. Okay. And yeah, no more quad box for now. To be honest, I don't know if we should bet it when it comes back as a little bit of a defiant act to just really, really shove it to the corporate overlords.
100%. I mean, they listen to this pod, so we should make a statement. We are front runners in the industry.
Exactly. Pillars, titans of industry. Fuck.
So,
all right. Well, it's not loading. So you heard our pleaser. I'll post it on the site. Last thing before we get out of here, obviously early bets. I don't have many. Do you have a few?
I mean, nothing official that I've already laid. But I mean, if you've listened to the pod, you know where my head's at. I'm going to be on LSU. I'm going to be on Iowa, and more to come.
Sure. Yeah. So obviously, I have my MACtion slate. That's 5 plays plus Eastern Michigan. So that's your 6 play. Already bet Texas Tech at 9.5. Go grab that if you can. Probably listen to this Thursday morning. Air Force, San Jose State over. I have 66.5. Already 67. Seen 67.5 on DraftKings. So please grab that one. Oh, god damn. 6-7. That's got to be my lock. 6-7 over. Whoa. We're just going to keep riding Ohio State until the wheels fall off. It's a detriment not to be betting this team. So we're going to bet them minus 29.5.
Cheaters.
Get that before it's over. 30. And then for the Friday games, I like Tulane inside 4.5. And then I like USC minus 14, but I might put out team total for USC instead.
All right.
Take
nice.
Last one. Take Indiana 14.5. I don't think it'll get under that key number. I just don't talk yourself out of it. It's just the repeat of last week.
Right now, other than Indiana, and that's obviously me saying this. Maybe you'd agree, maybe you disagree. Other than Indiana, do you think there's a team that could beat Ohio State, say, in the college football playoff? I got one other team that I think maybe could beat them.
When I think of complete teams that can beat you, like running and no, because Georgia would get thrashed by Ohio State's offense. So would Alabama. You know what? What I've been seeing lately is if a rematch with Texas.
That's a good call out. If they get hot, I could see that for sure. I was thinking Ole Miss.
No, that defense would. I mean, that would be the best defense Trinidad Chambliss has ever seen. Same with if they end up playing Indiana. Like the first time he plays one of the big dogs, I would lay any number you give me.
Yeah, that's fair. I just wonder if Ole Miss is like steadily improving and is going to be a problem come playoff time.
Yeah, we'll see. Remember, they got a banged up Mateer.
It's true. All right, I think that's it.
It is it. We did it. A lot of games. College football playoff. We covered a lot. Thank you all for sticking around.
Appreciate you guys.
Love you.